Okay, by default you can view the document. See, we can scroll down, and isn't that nice? Now if we want to make any changes to it, when I click in here, it doesn't allow me to actually put the cursor in here so I can type in some text or delete. So to edit the document, you want to come up here and click on Edit Document, and you can do it one of two ways. You can either edit the document in Word, and you can see that you can use the full functionality of Word, in other words, use all the features in Word, or you can edit it quickly, but you don't get the full functionality or all the features in Microsoft Word if you do it online. So if I do it in Word, click on it, click Allow, say yes, and it looks like it wants me to sign in again, so that's fine. KKDD. And hit Enter on the keyboard, then the password, click Sign In. And there you go. You can see that up at the top, there's the title, Co-Author OneDrive, and you got the fun little lines and arrows to let you know that you're signed in. And in addition to that, you got the Save button that acts both as a save and a refresh, so that any changes that Carrie makes or anybody else who's working on this document at the same time from the OneDrive, because this is being pulled from that OneDrive, then when you click on it, it refreshes it and pulls their changes over so you can get an update of it. And right down below you can see that, hey, Carrie Heffernan is editing this document. Click the status bar to show all the authors who are editing this document at the same time. So you can see down below there's two, click on it, it's me and you, or Carrie. Hey, that's great. So we can go ahead and make changes to it. I'll ask her to make some changes. So if I come up here, lightning breaks. Now once I start typing, you can see how it has this dotted outline here, and it applies to the entire paragraph. Assuming that you watch my co-author training video using SharePoint, then I would quickly skip by this, but if you didn't, that means that nobody else can edit anything anywhere within this paragraph as long as I'm working on it. And to take the point home, let me go ahead and have Carrie make a change in this paragraph right here so you can see what it looks like and what Word does when it comes to co-authoring, that it'll say, hey, you can't work on this paragraph at the same time somebody else is. It's got to have some sort of data integrity, so if we make a lot of changes at the same time, it's going to be a bit tricky. There can be times where there are going to be conflicts because there's some latency between the updates when it comes to the internet that the co-authoring feature will capture. But let's take it one step at a time, and let me show you what happens when Carrie starts working in the second paragraph here. Like I said, there's a little bit of latency or time when it comes to updating things, and all of a sudden Carrie's name pops up on this paragraph, that when I hover over it, you can see in the pop-up the text, to avoid conflicts, you cannot edit in this area until Carrie finishes editing and uploads it to the server. So there are going to be conflicts, but it tries to minimize it by blocking you out from the paragraph. So okay, I have to wait until she's done and click Save, which means I can work on other things, but if I really want to work on that paragraph, oh well, I'll have to wait until she's done. So let's go ahead and have her click on Save to be able to complete the changes, and then if you want to wait for a minute until the OneDrive realizes that an update has been made, and when it does, down below in the status bar it says, hey, updates are available. And in the pop-up it says the document's been updated by another author. Click to save and refresh the document. So if I come up here and click Fresh, and it says, okay, someone else is using an earlier version of Word on this document. So to make sure that we're both seeing the same content, some of the features in the latest version of Word, which is Word 2013, is going to be turned off temporarily. So let's see, it says when you save, Word updates your document with the changes made by others. That's nice, we know that. Click Okie dokie because, well, I just went over it. And you can see the change that was made. The mare's nostrils open instead of flare, and then the rider's chest heaves in exasperation, so that's the change she made. Now let me show you what it looks like, or what happens when it comes to co-authoring and the internet isn't fast enough to capture me working within the paragraph on the same word at the same time that Carrie's working on it, because there's going to be that split second that if I go ahead and start editing at the same time she does, I want to show you what happens when there is a conflict. So I've got to be fast about this. Let me go ahead and have Carrie update the word on her side, and then I'll go ahead and select this and call it night, and then let's go ahead and have Carrie click Save, and then I'll go ahead and come up here and click Save and see what happens. Okay, the same thing happens when you save. Word updates your document, click Okie dokie, and look, the upload failed because some of the changes conflict with other updates made to the file. And so you can see that Carrie has clouds where I typed in night. And if I want to resolve it, click on Resolve. Opens up the Conflict Changes task pane, and it says you inserted night. Now you'll notice that up here we've got the Related Contextual tab for conflicts. We don't have the Review tab, that's not available. This is something different. So if you watch the training video on tracking changes, how you can accept and reject changes, that's not available when it comes to co-authoring. The only time that you get something that's similar to that is when there's an actual conflict, like we have here. So in the conflicting changes group, you can either accept my change or reject my change. You don't get the option to accept or reject Carrie's change or somebody else's, but only your own. So if I don't like my change as compared to her change, which is clouds, then I'll reject it. But since I like mine, let me go ahead and accept it. When I click on it once, it highlights my change, and then click on Accept it again. And conflicts have been resolved. No more conflicts. You're good to go. Oh, that's nice. Click on Save and Close View. So now we still have clouds, which left it there, but at least it kept my change there, night. So we can go ahead and delete clouds and then click Save. And then on Carrie's end, she's going to go ahead and refresh it and click Save. And then she'll notice that her clouds has been eliminated. And in its place, it's going to have my word here, night. So if she doesn't like that, then we're back to battling it out again when it comes to conflicts. Now, one last thing that I want to show you here, or a feature that's not available when it comes to editing your Word document when it's outside of the OneDrive. Remember how you got the option back on the OneDrive? Let me click on it, where you can go ahead and edit the document online or edit in Word on your desktop. Let me go back to the desktop. Is that when you come up here and click on the Review tab and you go to the Protect group, you can actually block the author from working on a paragraph. So not just when you're working on it. So if I come down here and I start working on it, then I'm done, and I click Save and I go out, that's now open. But if I want to block it, so if I'm working in that paragraph or not, nobody else can make changes to it while I'm in the session, then go ahead and click on Block Authors, click on Block, and it's for this paragraph. And you can see that when you hover over it, to avoid conflicts, other authors will not be able to edit in this area until you unblock it and upload it to the server. So she can do the same thing. In fact, let me show you. We'll have her do it to the first paragraph and give it like 10 or 20 seconds, and all of a sudden, bink, there we go. You can see that it says to avoid conflicts, you cannot edit in this area until Carrie unblocks it and uploads it to the server. So now you know it's something more than just her working on it. She actually blocked me and anybody else from working in the paragraph. And so you can actually just go nuts on this and block everyone out from, well, the entire document if you want to keep selecting each paragraph and coming up here and blocking it. Or you get the other option, release all my blocked areas in case if you have a lot of blocks. I'll go ahead and release it. You can see when I hover over it, you need to save and upload before other authors can edit in this area. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and click refresh and save. And then we can have Carrie do the same thing, release everything, and then be sure to click refresh and save. And then just wait like 5 or 10 seconds. Or if you don't want to wait, then just come up here and click on save and refresh. But you can see now that updates are available. If you rewind the video back a few seconds, that wasn't there. But let's go ahead and click on save, refresh, okie dokie, and there we go. We're now unblocked. Now once we're done, we can go ahead and close out of the document, and we can close out of here. And then the other option that I wanted to show you is that you can edit the document online. So you can make quick changes, but you don't get the features or the functionality that the actual program has when you're not working online. There's so much to do that to do all that, it would probably slow down the internet connection with the OneDrive. So if I click on this, now it allows me to go ahead and move my cursor around and make changes to it. And if I double click to select a word and click the delete key on the keyboard, down below you can see it says on the status bar that it's saving, because you don't get a save button anywhere up here that you can click on to save it. So that's one of the advantages, is that make any changes and it'll automatically save it for you. But again, you're limited to the functionality or using the full features of Word. So if I come up here and click on the Review tab, do I get the option to block anybody? No, it's not there. So you can see that you have a lot less commands that are available when you're working with your document online. But if it's something simple when it comes to doing edits, then, well, it's not a big deal. I think it's a lot simpler to be able to do your changes online than to go through all the rigmarole of opening it up on your desktop. Which also brings up a good point, that if you don't have Microsoft Word or somebody else doesn't have it installed on their computer, then the only option that they have is to be able to work with Word online. They can't edit it on their computer because they don't have the Word program installed on their computer. And if you want to be able to find out if somebody else is working on this document at the same time as you're working it online, well, you can see over here that Carrie Heffernan is also editing. You can click on the drop down arrow, and if there's more, then you'd see more there, but we only have one other person. And then when you're done, you don't have to save it because it's already been saved. You can just come back up here and click on the list of Microsoft services and go back to your OneDrive, or if you have other services you want to work on, click on that. And we're back to where we started. Select Documents, and there it is right there. And don't forget that we do have Carrie sharing this document. If we want to now turn it off, then go ahead and right-click on it and go down to Share, and then follow the steps that we went over just by selecting her name and clicking on Edit to stop sharing, or to change her permissions from editing to view only.